morning from Europe, good afternoon, good evening guys, wherever you are. Piotr here, this is Liteforex Global YouTube channel. 24th of February 2021 is a Wednesday, so mid of the week. Well, we will see what's going to happen. Anyway, yesterday when it comes to the UK, we got I would say quite okay job market data, right? Especially when it comes to the average earnings index, higher or much higher than what market was expecting, also revised to the upside when it comes to the previous reading. So we have the pound flying, but what is very important, guys, we have to remember 3rd of March. 3rd of March, it's a budget release date, all right? So the next Wednesday we are going to get the UK budget numbers. We are testing quite significant level. If you do remember, we were discussing that levels related to 4010 as a quite significant supply based on the possible mid of the range, right? And well, market is going higher, right? So where the sellers are, where the buyers are when it comes to the higher time frame on the pound. As of now, in my opinion, buyers, of course, around the weekly open. So we are talking about the psychological 140 level. Now, when it comes to the swing high over here, right? Oops, sorry guys. When it comes to the swing high over here, okay, on the top of that range, we are talking about a few levels. We are talking about the 143, number one, right? And we are talking about the levels close to 143.50 based on the possible business finishing when it comes to the swing high. Of course, we have plenty of possible liquidity based on the stops above that high, right? Let's switch to the daily chart. There you go. And something is going on, maybe a bit too low in my opinion, right? Taking into the consideration where we started to build the upper shadow, but something is going on, okay? No doubt about it. So based on the daily chart, again, the demand, the buyers around 140 psychological level, and then again around 139.15, 138.90 based on the daily chart and the possible demand based on that consolidation, right? So that's the buying levels. What about the selling? Well, it's quite interesting. On the daily chart, it's not that visible. So let's switch to the hourly chart. This type of the price action, right, we've seen during the Tokyo hours with this upper shadow that could dictate the next move when it comes to the pound. If you do remember, we were discussing possible megaphone. We went higher based on that megaphone. So let's change a bit some lines, right? So as you can see, we are trying to hold the breakout line, all right, and we're trying to hold 41.30 breakout candle bottom, all right? So I would be very, very careful, being conservative, trying to chase the prices, all right? So the sellers, in my opinion, around 42, and we might see some kind of a conservative approach to the short side on the close, hourly close, below 31.20. So overall, that's how I see the cable, the pound versus US dollar. All right, next one is the euro pound. Here, okay, going lower, testing the top of the possible consolidation, all right? So we are testing this one, but based on this over under I think we might see lower levels as well as half of that consolidation. So what we are talking about? We are talking about the levels close to 84.50, and then we are talking about the levels close to 83.80. Okay, when it comes to the euro pound. Eventually, when we are talking about the buyers, when we are talking about the sellers, the weekly open is quite significant zone, and right above is this broken consolidation, half of that 87.60. So supply 86.50, 87.50, 87.60, and the demand when it comes to the euro pound 84.50, and then again 84. Let's switch lower. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the daily chart. All right, here, that's the latest weakness, never been tested, right? So at least towards these levels, I would expect the move to the downside. On the other hand, 87.50, again, the same, what we discussed on the weekly chart, as a possible supply. We are in the middle of the range or closer to the demand, and that's where I'm going to look for some buying opportunity. We need to see significant rally to try to fade that rally when it comes to the euro pound. Well, another one, pound Aussie. From the weekly chart perspective, all right, if you do remember, we are drawing some lines. We are below significant levels, but we are still inside possible consolidation, and right now we are testing 50% of that. We are talking about the levels close to 179. Of course, 180 is a psychological one. Let's switch lower. Let's switch to the daily chart on that cross, okay? And what we are trying to hold, and we were discussing this one, based on the move to the downside, rally, move lower. So we hit the stops, and we are testing the latest weakness. So level, as long as we are above 70, 750, 78, I would say the bigger chances are that we are going to try to move higher towards at least 83. So how I'm going to approach pound Aussie? Well, okay, so all about today's close, because if we are going to start to build upper shadow based on that supply, right, and if we are going to get the close below 78.50, we might see retest of the low. So in that case, I'm looking to buy 77.50-ish, more or less. But if the daily close is going to be strong, right, if we are going to start to fight and challenge 180, I would like to see the close above, all right, because we might double that range, meaning that 80 to 50, 83 could be targeted. So guys, data in a favor of the pound. I'm talking about the job market, but don't forget, 3rd of March budget release is gonna be crucial here. With that being said, don't be trapped, be careful, work with your exposure. Thank you very much, take care, goodbye, see you around.